Cardi B has had an apparent change of heart regarding her sophomore project. It's been 6 years since Cardi debuted with Invasion of Privacy, and it looks like she's promising her fans this time around that she will deliver her sophomore project this year. And it looks like she's targeted Joe Budden as her #1 opposition or critic. On a recent Twitter Spaces, Cardi used Drake as a comparable to say Joe Budden's a hater. Check it out.
Not a quitter. You quit on your passion. You quit on your passion. I'm not gonna quit, bro. That's the issue. That's the issue with you. You critique everybody and stop being a hater, bro. If somebody got $400 million fucking dollars for a deal and you talk about, yeah, well, they got to tour this and that for, nigga, I'll fucking tour till I'm 65 if somebody give me $400 million. $400 million that you don't have. Stop hating on everybody. Everything that somebody do good, you always hate on it. That's bad. That's terrible. Value academics point of views, because he will say mostly the truth than being a straight up hater. You be a hater. How you hating at a nigga got $400 million? $400 million.
As we previously read, Cardi did go on to say, yo, to all my fans out there, I know I get a little crazy and wild sometime, but thank y'all for the support and holding her down. So this is the one where I'm going to take the opposite angle from the first video. I disagree with Cardi going at Joe in the way she did about Drake, right? I thought Joe Budden, on a podcast that I watch, and I know exactly the episodes that she's discussing, when Joe was critical of Drake's $400 million deal, I thought it was fair play. He's a former artist. He's the biggest hip hop podcaster on God's green earth. Drake's $400 million deal is something that he raps about. It's something that he promotes. It's the biggest rapper in music, one of the biggest artists in music. To me, Joe Budden discussing Drake's album in ways that the common person can't, and even me as a person that's covered music for nearly a decade, I don't know the intricacies that Joe Budden does as an artist that had some success in music. I want to hear that as a fan of that podcast, and I think Joe does a great job of breaking stuff like that down. I totally disagree with Cardi that Joe's a hater. I think oftentimes artists believe that they are removed from criticism, or they cannot get criticized, but then they want all the benefits of what it is to be a superstar. Now, again, if y'all watched my first video about this particular Twitter space that Cardi B did, I was in full support because I thought Joe was out of bounds for the comment he made about her and Offset and her getting out of the house. I thought that was out of pocket. But in the conversation of her calling Joe a hater because he brought up Drake's $400 million deal, to me, Drake's music deal is in play to be discussed on a podcast. What do y'all want podcasts to talk about? Pretty much you're saying you don't want podcasts to exist if you thought Joe was a hater for giving his opinion on why Drake tours a lot in the midst of his $400 million deal. He was actually saying Drake's too big of a deal to have to tour as much as he does, which was from what I remember the conversation. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. I disagree with Cardi on this one, man. I don't think anything Joe said about Drake's deal, at least publicly on that podcast, was wrong. At least from what I saw. I disagree with Cardi on that one, and I do believe maybe she's locked in on Joe as her critic. Joe's interviewed some people that, Cardi doesn't get along with the greatest, and I think he's now become the face of her not dropping an album, if that makes sense, right? Joe Budden is now the face of Cardi B's delayed sophomore project, and she had no problems calling out her biggest critic. Time, love, and support is what your boy will never take for granted around here. I'm out. What up, what up, what up? It's yours truly, the one and only FERRO. If you appreciate the great quality content that your boy consistently puts out for the culture, you can now take that love and appreciation to the next level. You can cop a supporter badge on Facebook or a membership on YouTube. We have perk announcements for both platforms coming really, really soon. Thank you in advance. As an independent journalist, this is how I feed my family, pay my bills, all that great stuff. So any support is appreciated dearly. Thank you in advance. Time, love, and support. I'll never take it for granted.